very Merry Christmas here at ShitFlix.
It's not Christmas, David.
I miss Christmas?
Yeah, it was great. Everyone had world peace for a few hours. Except for you.
Oh. That's okay. There are other holidays I can celebrate. Happy New Year, one and all.
It's past New Year's, David.
How long was I out?
About a week.
Why didn't you wake me up?
Say you were tired.
That doesn't even... Okay. What holidays are today, then?
Chinese Canadians have Humiliation Day.
Well, shit, I'll get the lube.
I have a better idea.
We watched a movie today, but not just any movie. The last of the 13 films. And the title of this film is...
13. Haunted Frat.
Haunted Frat. Now, let me ask you a few questions here. Was there a fraternity?
Yes, there was.
Was it haunted?
They say.
All right, that's as advertised, which is more than we could say for most of the other movies in this series. Bravo.
That's
You did it.
where it ends.
Yep. So I will jump into plot right away here because, it's a doozy. So,
Should I give you like just 30 seconds?
No. I'm. Let's see how long this lasts. So I'm going to describe everything that happens in order. All right. So moving on to acting. No, seriously, like nothing happens. So the entirety of this movie, I'm not even going to give the plot. I'm going to give what they said like 15 times.
Yeah.
25 years ago, there was an insane asylum / sanatorium / hospital standing on the grounds of where they currently are. It burned down. But one patient, one Jane Doe, who was locked in a padded cell, couldn't get out of the fire.
Session 9.
So every year, on the anniversary of its burning down, she comes back as a spirit and haunts whatever's there.
'Cause she's bored.
But for 15 years, nothing was built there until an insane rich dude, Kodo, built a mansion there and abandoned it merely 1 month later
Because no one would buy it.
Also, it was probably haunted, but yes, no one would buy it.
And the 1313 series was shot there.
So, fast forward like probably 5 years or so later, it was turned into a fraternity.
Ooh.
But this anniversary of it burning down happened to be over spring break. So no one was around until this year because the big game was postponed for some reason. So now this group of, 7? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4.
They all blend together after a while.
7. There were 7 guys that I can remember. 7 guys are all being possessed by this spirit woman.
I don't even know what she's doing.
She's doing this.
I feel...
Guess where that finger's been. So, the spirit woman is possessing them all one by one, saying like, "Come join us in the darkness below." And
that's her only line.
yeah, and once 5 out of 7 of them are possessed, the brains of the outfit, and the jockey dude bro, they're the only ones left. And the brains are like, "Look, here's everything that David literally just described. Shit's going crazy." And he's like, "You're lying. I'm gonna go prove it. And when I get back, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Throw you out of the frat.
Out of the frat." So he walks off and he's like, Andrew? And he walks off after Andrew. And then credits. Fuck you. Oh my God.
He literally, I was really surprised. This is, even more than Wicked Stepbrother, this has the most amount of padding, but also at the same time, though, it has even less plot than that movie.
Oh my God.
At least we understood why these guys were fully there and what was happening to them at least half an hour, 40 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
This one literally waited until the last 5 minutes to make any type of reveal.
The first word wasn't said. The first character reaction didn't happen until 20 minutes into the movie.
You're not Kubrick.
The preceding 10 minutes before that was a shower scene.
You're not Tarkovsky.
The preceding 10 minutes before that was a nightmare scene where he's just walking around the mansion as usual.
You're not Von Trier.
Oh my God.
Like, alright, the thing is though, like, alright, where we had to find this movie,
Yeah.
it was on iTunes.
It was on iTunes. There are places to rent it. There are places to buy it. I rented it standard definition for $3.99. So don't say we never supported you, Dakota.
It's like 50 cents went your way right
Yeah, there you go. We funded your next film.
Yeah, it's like... it's like, the fact of the matter is, though, like, I'm just going to get right into the acting.
Ahead.
It's just... The acting, you can't... There's nothing really to judge anything by. Because I'm not saying that these actors are bad in any particular sense. They're not given any material for me to judge a performance. The best that I can give this, and I told this to David before we watched the movie, it's just like, this is the equivalent of like the softest of softcore porn. Mm-hmm. And of course, it makes sense for what it is. A lot of people, I keep bringing this up, a couple of people keep saying the fact that this is not meant for us, we're not the target audience. I'm like, yeah, okay, so what?
Yeah.
Like,
that changes the definition of good and bad movie?
Like, the fact of the matter is, like, you obviously reuse the same, like, 7 to 10 shots
7 to 10 times.
Well over the amount of times that we could possibly think that this isn't a repeated shot. If you're going to make this movie at all when it comes down to be really softcore porn, like kind of like eye candy whack stack material for people, don't reuse shots. It's like, the fact of the matter is, alright, some people might think that I'm being a little too highbrow when it comes down to the porn. I'm sorry. The problem is, I've seen good porn, so like there's a barrier. There's kind of like what do you call it? A standard of which to adhere to. And again, I've seen some of your other work, Dakota. Your work in the Puppet Master movies is better than this.
Oh, so much
by a long shot. So that's why I'm like, why did you make this series of movies in your house to begin with? I'm actually genuinely curious. Like, you're like, alright, this is going to be my my skin flick period. Russ Meyer, look out. Like,
so, my turn in the acting, like you said, not much you can say because it's no content. Like, if you were given, you can give a group of actors the same monologue.
You didn't pay these guys, did you?
You can give this same group of actors the same monologue, and they will take it wildly different ways if they're at all, trained. And even if they're not trained, they can still get different things out of it.
Yeah.
But if you give them nothing, there's only one way to arrange zero things.
I can't imagine how he directed this movie. I can't imagine how he did it. Like, I've seen like behind the scenes like stills and stuff like that, but for the film. Yeah. And somebody just recently called us out for not researching movies. That piece of information wasn't available to us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, we try to look up what we can about these things while we're watching it. But at the same time,
this is also first reactions unscripted.
Yeah.
We don't try to. If we're doing an in-depth review thing...
Watch Cinema Historia.
Yeah, do something else.
Yeah, it's like,
but for ShitFlix, it's all about our first reactions and just how we felt about it. Not how we looked in-depth to the thing. But that's off track.
Wow, we're actually addressing the community.
Hi, community.
But either way.
Alright, so what I wanted to say, though, was that I feel, though, that the 13th Criterion series came about because it's just an interesting concept on paper. Take these classic sort of ideas and stories in the way of vampires, Frankenstein.
Pretty much almost every genre they're trying to go for.
Pretty much all of the classic horror / sci-fi, UFO invasion. Take all of those.
And then there's Cougar Cult.
And then there's that one. And take them all and put... Wicked Stepbrother was the thriller. Take them all and make it into a series that loosely is connected all in this, like, one location. And it's showing how you can show a diverse range without actually changing anything. Yeah. On paper. In reality, it's bad.
The thing is also, though, I mean, this goes... I'm skipping a little bit and going into the tech real quick because that's one of the major problems with the films. That's one of the major problems with the series in general. Is the fact it's not the fact of what you're trying to accomplish. Is the minimum amount of effort you used in order to accomplish it.
Yeah,
you could have gotten so much more creative with the camera angles and this type of stuff.
Not even that. You could just film enough footage to fill your movie without repeats.
Yeah, it's like
that's all you got to do.
If you chop down all of the padding, all of the repeated padding. Let me rephrase that. Yeah. All the repeated padding, not just the general padding.
Film each thing once and then move.
It's like, and we just move on from that. This movie, all of his films would probably be a good, maybe I would say 40 minutes shorter.
It definitely,
probably, if not more.
Definitely close to it, if not there.
You have made a series of short films. If anything, actually, what you should have done, Dakota, is taken 1313 and all of them without repeating and all that kind of stuff, and just made an anthology series.
Hell, if I didn't feel dirty about downloading these films and having them touch my hard drive, I would totally recut it and just see how short they were. But that would corrupt many of my files.
That's also probably a lot more effort that was went into than editing the actual films. And I'm like, I can't imagine the editor. I don't think I've brought these guys up before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I brought up. The fact of the matter is, though, what is going through your head? And also, how is Dakota directing how the editing's done? I'm really curious on how Dakota has directed these films.
I'd love to see behind the scenes. But
I would love to talk to you. Again, Dakota, I'm reaching out. Talk to us. You are a fascinating man.
For this movie in particular, though, when it comes down to technicals, there wasn't a huge amount to really talk about in the way of errors. The biggest error I can think of is just because we've seen his house so entirely.
We could draw.
The third guy who died, haunted, possessed, whatever, he started off in an upstairs bedroom. Then they cut to him being chased around, which then ran up the stairs and turned left towards the master bedroom. Then they came out from the guest bedrooms and ran back towards the master bedrooms again.
Across the same little bridge.
That was ridiculously bad, just constants of...
Even if you didn't see all the rest of the movies, you would know that was the same shit.
The movie opened up with a walkthrough of his house, so if you paid attention during that, you would know.
That 20-minute walkthrough.
Because that walkthrough was 100%, there was no jumping around. That was, you were in this location, you walked out.
I honestly think this is just like a kind of like a fetishy way of showing off his house, trying to get people to buy it.
There's one point where a guy's out in the pool, and the spirit woman walks into frame, and then walks out of frame, and he pans up the camera a little bit just to show off the house. And I'm like, so is that for sale, Dakota?
Look at my veranda.
But yeah, and really the biggest problems with this movie and any 1313 movie comes down to the script. Because
there isn't one. I was telling David, I'm just like, what the hell does the script actually look like?
I like to think that it's the guys, because we have subtitles turned on because we do like to riff during the movies. I like to think that the script was written in like Microsoft Word or something, and they just copied out the script and put it into the subtitles, because a lot of times the words that are spoken on screen don't match up with the subtitles. Yeah, so it makes me think that those were the scripted words that were put in there.
Or the subtitles people just fucked up. Either way.
Possibly.
It's like, but yeah, I mean, of all the actual words that were spoken in this movie, less than 10 pages.
Yeah.
I would say like at least 10, like no more than 10 pages worth of dialogue.
I can't remember, was it Boy Crazies or Nightmare Mansion that had over top of the padding scenes pretty much, they had the revamping of the it was Boy Crazies. They had all the dialogue that was previously said just over and over and over again.
At least that actually had words spoken.
We
thought we got the instrumental version of this movie first.
The video was acting up, so we had to restart it, and we thought that was just instrumental. Because there was nothing being said for the first 20 minutes.
I'm like, oh shit, what are we doing?
I'm sorry. I have to go into this. It's a ghost movie. Released in 2011. Now, what else pops into your mind at that point? What happened in that area? I'll tell you what. Paranormal Activity. So this movie...
Not Whacktivity?
No. Not Whacktivity. Fuck you. This movie opened up with a card reading...
Actually, I think it did.
What was it? It was something along the lines of like the footage, the names of these people have been changed, blah, 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 because we must protect the privacy of University Redacted and Fraternity Redacted.
Because there was a lot of words.
Yeah. All footage in this is either surveillance footage, personal recordings, or police dramatic reenactments. Please, blah, 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 blah.
And the whole movie
looked like any other 13 movies. No surveillance footage, no personal recordings, it might all have been a police dramatic reenactment, but I'm very confused as to why the police were thinking that this spirit woman was touching them in the shower. That's a little bit weird in my opinion.
Yeah, the police have some interesting imaginations.
Yeah, and I'm very interested why the police thought it was necessary to show the guy hosing down.
It's just like, all right, you know what happened to that guy?
Yeah.
Most likely he was hosing off, and then the spirit woman came up and started groping him and shit, and then just kind of turned him into a sex slave or something like that, and made him chase around the other guys, and eventually they all became possessed, and that's why we can't find nobody.
I want to put that to video, but only if once they're possessed, we put them in their underwear only.
I'll get my cousin David to work on it.
All right, good.
That's really what I feel like the opening of the plot was.
I'm just so, okay, I understand wanting to send a certain mood for it in the way of that opening title card. It's like, the events you're going to see are all based on a true story in a fictional world. But,
which I know is a bullshit-ass stupid line.
But if you're going to do that,
that's another thing too, because in the very beginning they're like, this is based on a true story type of stuff, but at the end of the movie, like, all these characters are fictitious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why the fuck would you even put the prologue?
I just want to know why you didn't even play along for the first 5 minutes, the first 2 minutes. The first thing you see is a visual representation of this dude's nightmare. That's not surveillance footage, that's not personal recordings, and there's no fucking way that's a police reenactment. So why didn't you play along for even the shortest period of time if you're going to have
for your own plot?
For your own plot!
And also, though, the fact of the matter is, though, like, alright, think about for an instance if part of this even was recorded footage. Why would they be recording stuff? Half of this movie is one character running around whining that he's the only person who has to do an essay about the house.
I forgot to mention that the whole thread between
that's like the main conflict
between all the characters is that to get their university funding, which may or may not be a thing, I don't know.
I never was in a frat. I never cared.
To keep their university funding, they have to write an essay about their frat house, I guess, and its history.
Yeah.
Also, for the fact that in the card they say fraternity name chapter redacted, they flat out say later on in the movie it's beta sigma. So, was that just the editor after all the footage was done and the script was written? He just popped in afterwards. He's like, I just got done watching Paranormal Activity. I'm gonna type in this card.
I honestly don't know.
Editor's name is Jack Harkness. Do with that what you will.
But I mean, overall, I'm pretty much ready to get into my.
Oh, I never finished the thing. The whole thing was that the thread of the essay, he kept on going to each and every one of his roommates to get help on it because he didn't want to do it. But he's the brains of the outfit, guy. So then every time that he does talk to someone, and they say like, yeah, I'll be sure to get some help, or I'll help you out. I just gotta do this one thing real quick first. They disappear because they're all being possessed and blah, blah, blah. And then the very end, that's when he finally gets help from the one who's a journalism major. But he takes a shower first, and when he comes out, he's in his underwear. And apparently,
he was already in his underwear.
Apparently, has a reason to kill now because they managed to sense that like that.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
Cue up to the rest of the movie.
And the music.
Oh my fucking
This is
God.
one thing that we have to really talk about. It's just the fact of the matter is, though, the music in this... what was the music score? Who did the music? It was like big score
productions or something like that.
Something like that. Like, all right, it obviously was some type of like Kevin MacLeod, Audio Sparks, royalty free type music, because there was no effort whatsoever. I feel obviously I don't know. I don't know how much hours that you guys actually put into these movies. It's beyond me. But the fact of the matter is, though, how long did you spend time on the music, because the music would like rear up and crescendo and then go back down at the most stupid places. I'm like, alright, is something about to happen? No, this is just where the part in the stock music changes.
Literally, there was a point where the dude was like laying out on a towel, and the ghost was just... and the music crescendoed like twice over the course of that, and nothing changed. Not a damn thing. If they were building up to it like, oh no, now he's possessed. Okay, cool.
They have a rubbing scene too.
Have that happen. Oh my God. I just need some...
that one went on for a long time.
I can tell you exactly what... okay, so it opened up...
oh yeah, it's just like, I need some me time.
Opened up with the walking scene, went to the shower scene.
Is that how you masturbate? Like, do you get off, like, you know, if someone, like, pinches your nipples, do you just, like...
Alright, hold on. Walking scene, shower scene, pool scene, workout scene, another rubbing scene, and another shower scene. And then end. That's it. I saved
That is the majority of the movie.
I saved you an hour. No, not majority.
Wait, that's about... that's like probably about 10 minutes apiece and whatnot. About 70 minutes. 70 minutes of the movie.
Of a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
Not even 90. It was an hour and 20. An 80-minute movie.
So the last 10... that's perfect, actually, because... it goes back to my script thing with 10 pages, because that usually averages out to be about a minute a page in actual film time.
How many times did they repeat the thing of 25 years ago today?
Yeah, so you really didn't... you wrote like 5 pages worth of material, stretched it out to 10 pages, and then added 70 minutes of filler.
Do your final thoughts. I'm done.
My final thoughts is simply the fact of the matter is that this is the most padded out version of 1313 that we have seen. I am surprised that we have actually gotten lower than where we were with Boy Crazies, where we were with
Wicked
Stepbrother.
Yeah.
It's just like, this movie has less material to work with than those movies. I am so surprised. You know, for Haunted Frat, you take the cake for the least amount of substance out of all of these films. But Cougar Cult still is a terrible film.
Yeah, Cougar Cult failed.
That got under my skin.
Cougar Cult just failed because the actresses aren't exactly likable. B, the special effects are terrible. But for this movie, I think that the reason that more people don't know about it is because it wasn't one of the ones that was put on Netflix in its heyday.
Yeah.
We had to seek this out. You can't get this on Amazon Video. You can't do this on whatever. You have to get it through like a rental, pretty much, unless there's some service that we're missing out on. And my bank is going to call me later, wondering. I think.
Why are you spending money on this?
I swear I thought it was straight porn. Anyway, but no, for this movie, I can't care. I want to, I really do, but I can't, because
you make it hard.
There's no reason to. You didn't give me any characters to care about. The most cared about character was Smiley. He was given the most depth out of everything.
It was still stupid.
He was the brain in the outfit, but he was unlikable. He was a whiny bitch, and everyone else was just there. They were the meat. And then the movie just ended. Like, I'm all for a cliffhanger ending, and that was the same sort of thing of Paranormal Activity, where it's just like, she is still on the run, police are looking for her. If you know her, please call this number at 555. We're making 5 sequels. But, there's nothing more in this movie. It's
the last bit of substance with it, really. That's it.
And with that, that is 1313 Haunted Frat. And that is all 13 films. We're done. When the moon came
We're not done yet. Sit down.
Who's in?
Sit down.
The 7th house.
Sit down.
We are already over on time. What's going on? We're done.
There's another one.
No, there isn't. There's 13 films. And we did them.
I wish that was true. But there's another one.
You're telling me there's 13 films?
That is exactly what I am telling you.
That's stupid. That's just dumb. That's can I still say retarded? That's HR. Can I say retarded?
I think so.
Yeah, we've done worse.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
I know.
No, we have done all of them. All right? We have done Billy the Kid, Cougar Cult, Bermuda Triangle, Frankenqueen, Wicked Stepbrother, Hercules Unbound, Night of the Widow, Bigfoot Island, UFO Invasion, Actor/Model, Boy Crazies, Nightmare Mansion, and we have finally done Haunted Frat, and I'm done. All the stories that have been told have been told. What could possibly be left?
Giant killer bees.
Fuck.
Say killer, 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 killer.